Hello, beautiful shining hearts. My name is Yvonne Wildheart, and welcome to the Cycle Report for the 22nd of April 2020. I sit here on Jojo Wurrung Country in Central Highlands, Victoria, Australia. Whew, how are you all going out there? It's pretty intense and epic at the moment, especially those of us who are parents and who are trying to fit the school structure in the home environment. I feel you and I hear you, and I guess if we connect to this time and what this time, the season here in the Southern Hemisphere is calling us to do is come into deep stillness and rest and let go of anything that no longer serves. So we are 1 week away from the traditional point of Halloween or Samhain. So we are almost halfway through the point between autumn equinox, which is the equal day, equal night, to winter solstice, which is in June 21st, which is the longest night of the year. So we're astrologically near that point, which so when actual, the Earth point is on May 5th, at around about midday on the May 5th. So that is the point in the wheel where we connect to death and we connect to the dying and the final harvest. It's the final harvest of the 3 harvest seasons. One was Lammas in February, autumn equinox in March, and here we are, the final harvest. So we are, what that looks like here on the land, it's the harvesting the wood for the winter fires that are going to warm us for the winter. It's the pumpkins. Yeah, it's the pumpkins, that is growing. It's the final seedings from what we planted back in spring. So what we're seeing also metaphorically, have a look around what's going on around you. What is showing up now? That is the harvest of the seeds that were planted back last year in 2019 from July, August, September, October. That was the planting of the seeds that are showing up now, the deep harvest. It's the balsamic point, it's the point that's been refined and refined and refined, or the rose hip, and what seeds are we looking around now, what is coming up now, the harvest, that we can collect the seeds from. You think of the pumpkins, and when we harvest and we collect the seeds ready for the next spring. So, the rose hip is the strongest medicine of the whole cycle of the rose. So this point in the wheel represents the life stage of the crone. So the crone in our culture is, what are we doing with our crones? They're going nursing homes and, they're being locked away. We don't want to see that part of the life cycle, that makes us think about our own death, and our culture, our patriarchal culture, teaches us to fear death because, when we fear death, it keeps us small and controlled, and, it keeps us, if we're fearing death, it keeps us producing and to buy more and to look for comfort in food and alcohol and pills and whatever it is. I just wrote an article about that in my newsletter. If you wanted to subscribe to my newsletter and read all the articles that I do put, please down in the notes, please subscribe because it is pretty delicious. So I talk about that and how, our culture, doesn't want us to experience death because what we know, right? So when we experience death, it's a point of transformation. Yes, we drop into all the things that we need to let go of, and that could be pain and, anything that hasn't dealt with. This is when it comes up. It's the last point. But when we move through that, we're transformed. We birth anew. We move through and plant new seeds, and we become, we sit with the dark goddess and we come out totally transformed and empowered because we know death, right? So this is why our culture doesn't want us to embrace death. It wants us to fear death, to keep us small and controllable. My teacher Jane Hardwick Collins would say that that anything that the patriarchal culture teaches us a fear is a symbolism of the power it holds. So death is the point that is deeply feared, but is the deepest power of transformation and moving through. So that is the point of the season. And funny enough, here on the 22nd of April in the Southern Hemisphere right now, we are sitting under a dark moon. So again, it's all about the letting go and what no longer serves. So now is a good time, if you're listening to this tonight on the 22nd of April, now is a good time to let go of all that no longer serves. And if you're, teaching your kids school at home, maybe that's the thing. I don't know. For me, it feels like it is. So it's like, what do I need to let go of to, what's stopping me from being nourished? What's stopping me from thriving and, really stepping into blissful happiness? Whatever's stopping you from doing that, that's what you need to let go of. And then you get the seeds, and that's the clue to what you need to call in tomorrow afternoon on the 23rd. So the new moon comes in on the 23rd here, Eastern Australian Standard Time, at 12:27 or something like that at lunchtime. So up until that point, you'll feel it. If you're tuning in, you'll feel, there could be some kind of heaviness, or, there's more likely to be emotions flowing, especially ones of, tears and everything getting tense. There's a build up, and it's been building up for the last week. And it's particularly potent because we've got the seasonal cycle, and we've also got the moon cycle all in alignment. So that's really, really big, and big energies to move through it. And the way that we can move through it is like moving our bodies. This is a Taurus new moon. And so Taurus is all about the body and sensing the body and feeling with our body and just really dropping into, what is our body picking up on, and how can we, what bits do we need to move to move that energy up and way so it's flowing again. So, and connecting to the earth, this time of the year and this time of the moon cycle is all about the deep listening. It's a time of the dark goddess. She lives in the underworld, in the ground. When we listen to what she has to say, that she speaks great truths and power. And so when we step into our true self, when we hear our dark goddess calling, and step through what she's saying and move it through, again, we come out into our spring, out of our inner winter, into full brightness again, transformed. And, we start to really embrace that wild feminine self because we're embracing the whole cycle. So, that is the earth and the moon. So again, if you're a bleeding woman, I invite you also to drop into your menstrual cycle. Where are you at your menstrual cycle? I am just past ovulation, so my body had reached a peak, sort of started this week. So I feel blessed to have energy to carry me through of what's been coming up for me in this waning season and earth in the moon season. So that feels like a nourishing thing for me to be that. But again, what is it for you? Where are you at in your cycle? And how is that playing out with the energies of the earth and moon? So if you're loving what I do here, please sign up for my newsletter to be kept updated for all the events and happenings and offerings that I offer. I'm also offering shamanic counseling and healing, which I find so deeply nourishing to help me move through these really potent as fuck times. But also, it's really testing. So to have someone to have an ear to talk to who knows and understands the cycles is feels like a very important thing to do. So that is me. I send you so, so much love, and I really hope that you're well and all your loved ones are well, and that you see the blessings of all that is arising. From my heart to your beautiful hearts. Thank you for listening. Bye.